It's a concern because so much has been based on hopes of reform in India, and of course if the BJP are going to get a setback here, then people are concerned now they won't be able to achieve the same reforms in the budget. We won't see the same kind of cutbacks and a firm budget that people have been hoping for, and it could really open the door, I think, to much looser policies and loss of control. So it is a bit of a setback, and investors are a little bit concerned about that because they've invested quite a lot in the reform process.
Sure, but the government has pretty much defended itself, saying that this is not a referendum on their position at the centre, and that the reforms process will pretty much be on track. Do you think that convinces investors?
Well, I think it's always the problem with all these kind of elections is that they aren't really a referendum on the whole government, but in many ways a lot of people use it as an opportunity to send a message to the government, and we see it time and time again that the incumbent power party suffers in these elections because it's an opportunity for people to protest. It doesn't necessarily mean that things will grind to a halt. I think it would really require the opposition to be as unified as they have been in the Bihar election. They'd have to be as unified as they have been in Parliament, and that's a big question as to whether that would happen. So,
do you think the market's reaction is overdone, or is the nervousness primarily accounting for the kind of exuberance there was when the BJP government came into power, and that's waning now, perhaps? So you're seeing the market being, resorting to this big sell-off because there's disappointment there.
Well, yes, I would say that's probably right. Although, we had an extraordinary run when Modi came to power, and hopes did get far too advanced. But of course, we have to put it in the global context that emerging markets have been suffering quite a lot of capital outflows, and in some ways, India has been one of the better performing ones until recently. So, I think, yes, certainly that fall can be linked to the politics at the moment, but there has been general sort of downdraft on emerging markets.
But a large part of the India story was about reforms, was about political stability.
Yes.
As Schroders, would you take this event to be something which would influence your outlook on the region, or would you be still constructive on India?
No, we'd still be constructive, although it would be more about the long run, I think, because all these reforms are quite long run processes. But it could be a bit of a setback, I suppose, in the near term if it means that things get blocked in Parliament, and we won't see the kind of reforms. But they were always long run. I mean, if there's a looser budget, then in the near term you may have stronger growth. But we know that ultimately we need to see these reforms.
But the sell-off in the market, is it an opportunity then to buy if you are looking at a long-term story?
It could possibly be, but of course you see that if it derails reforms, then the long-run story is not going to be as strong.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.